Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into a recent filing from FISERV, a big player in the financial technology world, think payment processing and banking solutions. It's a report about their annual shareholder meeting, which might sound boring, but trust me, it includes votes on executive pay and some juicy disagreements that could hint at trouble brewing. Before we get started, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below. Come join us there. Okay, so this Form 8K is all about what happened at FISERV's annual meeting of shareholders on May 14, 2025. Shareholders, those are the people who own stock in the company, get to vote on important stuff. Let's see what was on the ballot. First up, the election of directors. These are the people who sit on the board and help guide the company's overall strategy. Think of them as the captains of the ship. 10 people were up for election and the shareholders voted them in. Let's look at one example. Stephanie Cohen got over 470, Cohen got over 470, Cohen got over 470, Cohen got over 470, get instructions from you. Next, there was an advisory vote on executive compensation. Basically, shareholders get to say whether they think the top executives are being paid fairly. This vote isn't binding, which means the company doesn't have to act on it, but it's a good way to gauge investor sentiment. Here we see that about 43.1 million votes were for approving the executive pay, but almost 41 million votes were for approving the executive pay, but almost 41.5 million votes were cast against it. Plus over 1 million abstained, meaning they didn't express either approval or disapproval. That's a pretty significant number of no votes. It is a signal that many shareholders think that the executives are overpaid. The 1 million votes were for approving the executive pay, but almost 41 million votes were for approving the executive pay, but almost 41.5 million votes were cast against it. Plus over 1 million abstained, meaning they didn't express either approval or disapproval. That's a pretty significant number of no votes. It is a signal that many shareholders think that the executives are overpaid. This can create a very bad atmosphere in the company. After that, shareholders voted to ratify, which means approve Deloitte & Toussell as the company's independent accounting firm for 2025. Almost 471 million voted in favour, while about 37 million voted against, with a little under 400,000 abstentions. Generally, this kind of vote is expected to pass, and it did. Now, here's where things get interesting. There was a shareholder proposal to change FISERV's compensation recoupment policy. This is also known as a clawback policy, meaning if an executive does something wrong, like misrepresenting the company's financial performance, the company can take back some of their pay. In this case, the shareholders rejected the proposal. Only about 30 million voted in favour, while nearly 442 million voted against it. That's a pretty resounding defeat. So, why did the shareholders reject it? Well, it could be a few things. Maybe they thought the current policy was good enough, or maybe they didn't like the specifics of the proposed changes. But the fact that so many voted against it suggests there is some disagreement about how FISERV should handle executive accountability. Looking at these results, FISERV seems to be sailing in generally calm waters, but with a few concerning breezes. It is good to see that the election of directors and the ratification of the accounting firm both passed with little resistance, but the shareholder pushback to executive compensation indicates possible friction. Executive compensation is always a hot button issue. When shareholders voice their disapproval, it signals a disconnect between the company's leadership and its investors. It can lead to decreased investor confidence and even activism down the line if the company doesn't address these concerns. The rejection of the compensation recoupment policy proposal is also noteworthy. While shareholders have different reasons for voting against it, it could indicate a lack of appetite for stricter accountability measures for executives. This could be perceived negatively, especially in today's environment where corporate governance is under increased scrutiny. The big question is, what will FISERV do with this information? Will they take steps to address shareholder concerns about executive pay? Will they revisit their compensation recoupment policy? The answers to these questions will be crucial in determining the company's future direction. Alright, that's our breakdown of FISERV's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.